Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creator Spotlight. I am Stella, your host, and in this playlist, I invite amazing guests who transform their lives and now are on a journey to help other people transform their lives too. Today, I have here with me the beautiful April. She is on a journey to help other people become more aware of what natural healing can do for their lives, for their bodies. April found herself dealing with chronic pain, and she went from a very successful business to then selling that business and embracing this path of wellness and natural healing. Hi April, welcome to this episode.
Hi, Stella. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you here because I know that in this day and age, we find ourselves often going through different kinds of situations when we feel pain, physical pain in our body. And so the immediate desire is to go to the doctor and have them tell us what to do and where to look at. How do you view this process at this point in your life? Like when you think about having a pain in your physical body, what's your thought? Do you think about going to the doctor? Do you wait for a bit? Like, how is this happening for you at this point in your life?
Well, since I've been through my pain journey, I've been very, very fortunate in that I haven't had to go back to the doctors to ask for support. Because as soon as things start to niggle again, I take time to listen to my body. I go inwards and I listen what is happening. And for me, generally, it is stress that can cause an awful lot of pain in my body. Um, and and I consider where that stress is coming from. I support myself with essential oils and natural well-being. I meditate as well, and I really take time to go inward and look at what is causing the problem that's causing then the pain and the discomfort. Um, but yeah, my body knows, and it will tell me, and it's just a matter of taking time to listen to it. And before I had my pain journey, I never used to do any of that. I thought
Mm.
it was a load of hocus pocus and, oh, what a load of nonsense. Just give me a tablet, I'll be fine.
That's very interesting that your body had to go through such an experience to then shift your perspective on healing. So, can you share with us just briefly what happened that what was that moment that brought all of this physical pain in your life, and how long did it take you to then actually say, you know what, I'm just gonna go and explore this natural healing path?
Yeah, well, it was a few years ago now, and my husband and I decided we'd take on a project ourselves. Now, we're used to doing DIY projects. We've built a house, so we know what is what. We decided that we would block pave the drive. And so we had a guy come in, bring the stuff in, and we were doing the labouring. So I was literally physically labouring blocks, bricks then, from A to B, lifting, twisting, putting down. And I'm not built to lump and bump things around. I'm built. I sit in front of a computer, or I was at the time in my workbench. So I'm stood bending and stretching across a high table, working and sewing. Um, so what happened was, this is a few weeks of doing this sort of work, and my body gave up. It said no more. And it came in the form of sciatica in my lower back and all down my left side from my hip down to my toes. And for those who don't know, sciatica is nerve pain, and it will go down one side or the other of the legs. And for me, it was going in complete flashes, like electrical pulses that would just suddenly, all of a sudden, just come and flash, take hold of you, and then they're gone as quickly as they came. And it would literally take your breath away. And at times, it would reduce me to tears, stop me in my tracks, or even take me to the floor because it was so painful. Um, and this went on and on and on. So going to the doctors, saying, I'm in pain. I don't know how to handle this. What do I do? Give me some painkillers, because that's all I thought you would do. So they did. They gave me painkillers. Is what I asked for. They gave me painkillers and still wasn't right. So they gave me more painkillers and more painkillers. At one time, I was on 5 different painkillers, as well as other medication that then compensates for all the side effects that are going on for these really harsh painkillers, and some of them are opioids. I was on these for months and months and months. Now, chronic pain actually robs you of so much of your life. When you're well, you don't really appreciate how crippling and cruel chronic pain can be. For me, my worst time, can't get out of the chair, just reduced to tears, can't even think straight. My husband would cook a meal for me. He was very supportive, very helpful, but even he, he had limits. Bless him. And the worst time, he cooked me this lovely meal. It was my favorite. And I stood there because I couldn't sit. I stood at the kitchen worktop with my meal in front of me, crying into the plate because I could not eat the dinner. I was hungry, but I couldn't physically eat it. And I felt sick at the same time, and all these other things going on inside me, trying to deal with this chronic pain. And then flashes of pain would come and take my breath away and take me to tears again. And I just thought, something has got to give. There has to be more to this. Cannot be my life for the rest of my life. This is in my very early 50s when all this happened. And just, no, something else had to be. So coupled with all these painkillers, of which I was becoming quite dependent upon, and that became scary as well. I decided that I would take control of this awful situation. There had to be more, that I had to, I hate the phrase, but almost pull myself up by the bootstraps and just look at something else. What could it be? So I started researching. Now, my attention span when you're in chronic pain is very short. So it's short bouts of research from home, trying to get some books, trying to find things on the internet, all sorts of bits and pieces about how I could support myself, how I could reduce my chronic pain. And it was having an understanding of how chronic pain worked in my body that really started to help to grow that, grow the formula for my pain-free life that then became later on. So it was understanding how the brain worked, and a pivotal moment was that I read something that chronic pain isn't actually in your body, it's in your mind. And I thought, who the hell are you to tell me I'm not in chronic pain? I'm in tears, I'm in bits, I'm just a total mess with it all. I can't do so many things. But I thought about that, because if it's in my mind, I can change my mind. So I really took control about how I felt, I thought about my pain. And I broke it down into the major aspects of my life that it was affecting. So it was affecting my sleep. It was affecting my mood. My self-care was non-existent. My positive mental attitude, at the worst part, well, it was verging on suicidal, dark thoughts, very dark thoughts. Don't like the S word. Very dark thoughts that I've never had before. And that's scary, coupled with being dependent upon the medication. So medication became part of it as well. Food, hydration, movement, all these things. There's 7 things that all came together to create what I then termed the natural painkiller, because all these things together just there's many aspects within each of these headings, but they came together to give me a pain-free life. It's
Mm,
how I live my life now. Um, and don't get me wrong, it's not all plain sailing. At times it can butt up against modern life, but it's really made me look at how I sleep, what I eat, what I drink, how I move. And I
mm,
deliberately don't say exercise because
yeah.
that fills me with dread. I want to be able to enjoy everything I'm doing. So I concentrate on movement. It's intentional movement. Everything that I do is intentional towards reducing inflammation, which causes pain, and in turn reduces my my pain. And
Mm,
then over time, it gradually reduced and reduced and reduced. But there's another pivotal moment actually, um, when I'd been involved in with some essential oils for a little while, and I came in contact with a lovely lady called Karina, and she started to tell me about emotions aromatherapy. And she happened to be around at one of my really low points. And so I embarked on this emotions aromatherapy course thinking, I've got nothing to lose. I've tried so many other therapies, acupuncture, manipulation, down with a back specialist, being cricked, this, that, and the other, all sorts of things. So I thought, I have nothing to lose, anything and everything to gain. So let's go for it. So I went through this therapy with her, and it's about um, looking at emotions and what causes them, but literally breaking down barriers to accessing those emotions using essential oils. And it's extremely powerful, actually. So I went into this therapy on a 9 out of 10 for chronic pain. And so I could hardly string a sentence together, but after 3 1-hour sessions with her, my chronic pain was down to a 3 out of 10. Significant improvement to a point where I could actually function again.
wow.
And this was a huge shift for me, a huge breakthrough, breaking through those emotions. And what happens, you see, is we store emotions in our body. If we don't process emotions, they become embedded as trauma, and it then revisits you later on. And for
Mm.
me, I was revisiting things that happened to me when I was in my 20s. So,
Absolutely. It sounds like you have made a huge progress and that all of this was intentional. And it's clear that everything started from that point when you took the decision to, you know what, I'm just going to make the effort to connect with my body. And instead of looking outside of myself and constantly asking for more medication, which, as you know, we live in a world where this is promoted and this is what we
absolutely.
see everywhere. So, like, if we haven't been through something like this before, it's something that, you know, we just, that's the first thing we want to do. But it took you so much effort and energy to just say, you know what, that's my decision. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explore how my body works, how my mind works. And this is such an incredible step. And thank you for sharing, you know, those like the about your dark moments that, you know, people
Mm.
just say yes. A lot of people will say, yes, well, she's well now, all good.
Yes,
But you know, we don't see or don't maybe talk enough about the fact that in those experiences we go through times that we can describe as dark nights of the soul, and like what is happening there, how do we grow, how do we shift in those moments too. And thank you so much for mentioning that, because it takes a decision, courage, consistent effort and intention to change these things in our
yes,
life. So I know that you created the 7 steps to wellness. If you were
yes.
to just tell us what that is in a nutshell, could you describe or just mention those 7 steps if
Sure, yeah.
possible?
The 7 steps to wellness, I've actually renaming them now as medication-free answer, because it's all linked into my book. So it's all within the natural painkiller, and I'm known as the natural painkiller. The natural painkiller is a powerful medication-free program designed to help people manage and reduce and later on eliminate their pain naturally. And it's built on the 7 key steps of sleep, self-care, positive mental attitude, diet, hydration, movement, and medication. And it offers a holistic and sustainable approach to pain relief. And it's in the form of a book that will be coming out shortly, and a program which will be launched shortly too, that enables them to take back control of their body and their mindset, because the two really are interlinked, and in turn take back their life in simple, supported steps at a time. It's that simple.
Wow, that's incredible. And to everyone who's watching us, please make sure to check the description of this video to know how to connect with April. And depending on when you're going to find this video, April's book and program might be already there, and maybe something else as well that April will be working on. So please take a moment to check the description of this video to connect with her and with her story, because it's really, really inspiring. And we may hear, yes, look at your sleep, at your hydration, how you eat, how you move, and all of these things might seem like, well, but it's like it's obvious, but well, it's obvious, but we sometimes forget how important these things
Yes,
are.
absolutely.
And I can actually talk about like my own experience, especially last year. I took on so much that for a moment I forgot that I wasn't sleeping enough hours. And my body immediately felt that. So it just takes just a moment of like decision of, you know what, I'm going to go back to looking at my body and what my body needs. And thank you so much for putting all of this together and creating a book as well, because I know about your journey regarding the book and how close this is to your heart and your passion and mission. So I know that you worked, like there was a stage during your process where you work through your emotions. Why was that important for you and for your recovery?
Before I understood it, I thought I've got nothing to lose. I'll just give it a go. So I gave it a go, and then I started to really understand it. And emotions are so, so powerful, and we can become ill from our emotions. And I never realized that. And people just think, oh, pull yourself together, you're getting over emotional, or you're not dealing with things properly. But you have to let your emotions out. You have to let them be. They're there as a regulation valve almost for the different types of feelings within your body. And if you disregard them and push them to one side or embed them, they come back later and bite you on the bum. So I've learned to really acknowledge my emotions. There's no good, bad, or otherwise emotions. Emotions are just emotions. They're there to support us. Acknowledge them, accept them, ask what they're here to support me with, and either embrace and process, and then move to the next appropriate emotion, you see. And I found that using essential oils, and this particular brand of essential oils that I use, really, really helped to do that, because essential oils helped to open up the pathways to access those emotions. And essential oils can help us in health-wise in many other ways as well. And they've been a strong part of or an important part of my healing process. And still today, I'm literally surrounded by my
Wow.
essential oils here. I use them every day, every aspect of my life. essential oils are in my life, and they'll always be here. And it's hugely beneficial because they support the emotions as well. So it's not just I've gone gaga and I'm into essential oils. They support me in many aspects of my life. They support me with my chronic pain that was now just my discomfort or pain that I have occasionally, and I can manage that situation with my essential oils and my internal works as well, and move through them. So yeah,
Mm.
that
Do you
answers.
have a favorite essential oil?
Oh, I have quite a few. I would say for initial pain reduction and helping reduce inflammation in the body, there's two. There's frankincense and another one, people might not have heard of this, called copaiba. And I take these both internally and use them externally. And they work internally to reduce inflammation in the body. Hugely powerful. Beautiful oils. Yeah. And then if I'm thinking about for sleep and supporting myself that way, well, then I would go to a blend called Serenity. And this is a beautiful blend of oils that really helps to calm and take you to that restful place, helps with the production of melatonin, etc. If I'm looking to support myself for self-care and self-love, then I'd be turning to two oils, geranium and wild orange. And geranium is the oil of love and trust. Absolutely beautiful, this. And I use this in my bath. I have this with magnesium salts. And wild orange is the oil of joy. And this is just really uplifting, uplifts the mood. Joy in abundance, this oil is, it's amazing. And together, they're two beautiful oils that really just work so well, I guess.
Wow, you're very knowledgeable in this
Oh,
subject. So I'm sure that our viewers, if they resonate with the idea of bringing essential oils into their life, they can connect with you, and I'm sure you can help or guide others or just share from
absolutely.
your experience with others too. So I absolutely love the fact that you mentioned that it's important to not push emotions to the side, because when we do that, we just delay the process of
Yes,
facing,
yes.
processing, and understanding how our body perceives those emotions. That's why even with emotions like grief can come in waves. It's important to sit with with that emotion and understand the information about how our body reacts and works through those stages in our life. How do we respond? How do we want to just be with ourselves as well? Because different people will deal with different things in their own unique way. So when it comes to your mindset shifts, what would you say were some of the biggest mindset shifters you had to make in order to go from, surviving to then living again?
Mm. And I would say there's two major mindset shifts. The most important one was positive mental attitude. And this is one of the 7 steps. I decided to view absolutely everything positively. I would not see any element of negativity. And this was my way of getting through and building myself up. So absolutely everything was positive. Even it could be chucking it down with rain and dark as thunder, but it's positive. I'd see the positive in it. It's great for the garden. We need the rain. Our rainwater harvesting is filling up outside. Yeah, or anything, just the slightest thing, but move in positivity all the time. Positivity. And build myself up that way. And the second thing was embracing self-care and self-love in turn. Because for years, and I realized looking back that my sciatica, although it triggered because of what was going on with the physical activity I'd been doing, and I'd hurt discs and trapped nerves, etc., which was causing the sciatica, It was actually a build-up of all this unprocessed emotion that was actually keeping me in the chronic pain.
Mm.
And so processing that emotion then freed me from the chronic pain, you see. So
Mm.
embracing the self-care and the self-love was really important. So taking the time for me, not just having, say, a bath, going and laying in the bath for half an hour, but having a bath and engaging all my senses. So I put my magnesium flakes in the bath. I've got the essential oils that are going to lift me, that embrace self-care and self-love. I'm listening to meditations that are about self-care and self-love. And I'm bringing everything in on all the different senses to lift that experience to being that much more intense about self-care. I'd integrate crystals to do with self-care and self-love. The oils are in the bath. It's to do with the smell. It's to do with all your senses just really engaged in that activity of what you're doing, and help to bring the intensity of that self-care action to another level. So it's not just having a bath. It's so much
Oh,
more than having a bath. And that's just one example. Another one would be, say, going for a walk, because when I could move a bit more, I would try and get out into the fields and across the fields. And this is something I do every day now. As much as possible, go out and walk across the fields and really listen to the birds, hear the animals, hear the wind through the hedges and the trees, and connect with nature. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? All of it. And that really helps to bring me back to the here and now, and not be in my head of the racing thoughts. And this being with nature just helps me to get back. Yeah. It's,
mm.
it's
The
just so
journey back
calming.
the journey back to the nature is so powerful. And yes, nature teaches us to be present in the present moment,
Mm,
because every season then comes one season after other, and then there is beauty in every season, and we can only enjoy that when we are present with the present season, when it's winter and then when it's summer. And I absolutely love, because we're recording this in summer, at the beginning of summer, and I absolutely love this time of the year. And there is so much that is happening around us. And when we open up, it's like the visual that comes to me always, when I think about the example that you gave with the walking. You can just walk with your head down and just move and just do that, this kind of movement. But you can also like lift your head up and open your heart and like really, really invite everything into
yeah.
your body. And I also love the example that you gave with the bath, because when people talk about self-care, that's one of the things that you usually hear. Well, just go and have a really relaxing bath. But there are these details, nuances that you talked about now, that are so important to engage every sense and to be present and to show our body that we are here to co-create, to live this life, not just as a soul, not just as a body, as together, because we
Mm.
are here to experience both the spiritual experience and the human experience too. So I know that you talked about movement, and you said specifically it's not exercise, it's movement. So what's the difference between the two?
Well, to me, exercise means going to the gym, getting sweaty, getting out of breath, and I just really don't enjoy that. And that is something, when I was at my absolute lowest point, I couldn't exercise. And so just moving intentionally was all I could manage. And it felt so much better to me to be intentionally moving. So in my darkest, hardest time, I would walk from one end of the landing to the other. We have a long landing in our house. Walk from my bedroom right up the house, through the landing, back in, and I'd end up marching. And somehow I realized that this movement was actually helping me. I'd be in tears when I started, because the pain would be so bad, but I feel as though I'd have to do something. So I'd been marching up and down the house to get some movement. And what I found later on was that I was actually creating endorphins in my brain naturally. And these are the body's natural painkiller. And I thought, flipping heck, I can create my own natural painkiller just by walking determinedly up and down the house, and it reduced my pain, and I felt better for it as well. Hadn't taken any more medication or anything, and that was really powerful. So I say movement because, as I said, when you're in the dark, really difficult times dealing with chronic pain, movement is really difficult. So if you can make small intentional movements regularly and gradually build it up. I mean, sometimes when I couldn't walk even across my bedroom, it was so bad. But I'd do a couple of steps and then get back to bed, and they are all right, okay. I'll do a bit more, and you build up, and gradually you do more and more, and then you'd be able to move freer. But yes, it's about intentionality in everything that I'm doing, but particularly with the movement. Yeah. So that was the difference.
Yeah, and then we work with shifting the energy around
Yeah.
us too when we move, because we go from um this mode of, oh, I don't have any power, I don't have any strength, to actually showing to yourself and to your brain that actually I can make that one step and then take a break and then do it again. So, April, I am so super grateful for absolutely everything you're sharing here with us. And if you were to share one piece of advice to someone who is maybe dealing with a lot of pain at the moment, especially chronic pain, knowing that they will have to learn how to work with it, and they think, okay, I've tried everything, I tried all kinds of medications, like everything was presented to me, and now I'm ready to shift something. What can they do? Something small. What can they do today to improve their life from this moment onwards?
Buy my book
Yay!
and you'll get all the answers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
yes, that's one way. There's so many aspects to killing your chronic pain naturally that one thing is not going to. But I think majorly, I mean, yes, buy my book. That's maybe a glib answer, but it's making that decision in your mind that you're going to take control of this, that it is not going to control you, and then doing all that you can to improve your situation. My book will tell you how to do that, and it should be out shortly. I don't have an exact date, but on my social media, on Instagram, I'll be putting out updates and bits and pieces, and people are actually pre-ordering it now as well. So that's
this
really
is
exciting.
so exciting and such a beautiful gift to all of us, and especially to those who are going through such a difficult time in their life of dealing with chronic pain. And who knows, maybe by the time our viewers find this episode, your book probably is already there. So again, please make sure you check out the description of this video to find April's book and her projects and courses and anything else that she's working on, and connect with her on social media. You'll find the link in the description too. And so thank you so much, April, for being here today with us. Thank you to our viewers who took their time to watch this episode. Let us know your thoughts, like this video, share it with your friends. And if you're new to our channel, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel too. Thank you for being here with us, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.